Hope you all can see my screen. Let me switch on the control room. So today's agenda would be in continuation with the commands on SOAP and REST. So let's go to the task editor. For those who, so agenda is first to complete SOAP and REST, then the different type of databases, like we can talk to XML and JSON, and migrating JSON and XML data from XML and JSON to standard RDBMS or NoSQL. Okay, we just start. So I'll just brief you what is SOAP. SOAP is Simple Object Access Protocol. REST is called Representational State Transfer. SOAP supports both XML and JSON. Okay, or rather you can understand it as a standard of XML. And REST is a standard of both XML and JSON. So we use SOAP or REST to connect multiple software platforms. So today I will show you the demo I will show you the example on how exactly we integrate external web services into Automation Anywhere. Automation Anywhere comes with SOAP and REST clients. So there is a mechanism wherein you can adopt in most of your projects, wherein you can use SOAP and REST services for data validation and data comparison. Okay, so most of you have a little confusion on where exactly we use what kind of command. So today's exercise will give you a clarity on different commands on Automation Anywhere. So I just wanted to pull up the spec. Let's see this. If you see here in an enterprise, these are the different type of tasks which exist in any process. I mean, you might have a repetitive task, you might have a periodic reporting or data entry or data analysis. You might have mass email generation, like archiving, extracting, and comparing your, attachments from email. And we have conversion of data from images and image comparison. We have ERP transactions, and we have process list and file storage. So these are the typical activities what an organization would be doing by using Automation Anywhere. So Automation Anywhere will create digital workforce or virtual workforce, which would actually take care of these kind of tasks. So what business processes in which RPA can be used? We can use RPA in all these processes. So to do that, we should be able to use the commands, or we should be able to use this particular interface. So we get started with SOAP, REST, and database today. So first thing is, for those who are not from an IT background, I'll just give you a quick introduction of SOAP web services. You can just go to Google and ask for sample web service. Once you say that, you see a lot of links wherein you get sample SOAP services. Okay, so I have used this example. You can use any example of your choice. So this is one reference. Okay, if you see here, there is a web service which is called Calculator, and this web service is published online for this link. I mean to say calculator.asmx. So once you see a service published in this fashion, we call it as SOAP service, Simple Object Access Protocol. So how do you identify SOAP service? If you will identify SOAP service if you see it as .asmx URL. And this also has a service description. Service description is nothing but the methods which are explained in this service are in detail, like what kind of request has to be sent and what kind of response you will get. Okay, for SOAP, you need to know that there exists something called WSDL, which is called Web Service Description Language, and SOAP. Once you actually hit this URL, you are having access to different methods like add, divide, multiply, and subtract. APIs are of great use because it can be consumed in any programming language. Other good reference is this website, webservicex.net. Unfortunately, it is down right now. Let's go to something else. Yeah, there's something called temperature convert. So you can see here, temperature convert is one more service which is published by W3 schools. It has two different methods within, which is Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. So you just need to add question mark here, WSDL. It will show you the description, web service description language. So this is about SOAP. Okay, SOAP is a very old, widely used industry protocol. This will help uh, multiple systems which are working on different technologies to get connected. And let's see how we use this service within Automation Anywhere. Okay, we can also say testing. It's still going to that, but this URL is down right now. Let's start with this service. Almost all, I mean to say, SOAP-based web services look alike. So from Automation Anywhere, we should be able to talk to one of these methods and use them in our logic. So when I click on that particular method, it shows me the XML construct. This is the XML construct which has to be sent as a request. Once this is sent as a request, you get this response. Okay, so let's see how it is done. I just create a new task, and in the commands you can go to SOAP web service. Okay, and you can actually build the URI, or you can ask Automation Anywhere to do it for you. Just click on this and you say WSDL, and once you say connect, Automation Anywhere is automatically connecting to those services and populating the service name, which is called calculator. If you see here, it is the same service name, and it is also showing you the methods which are available in this service, like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So it helps us to get connected to a third-party application. So first, good practice is to test this web service outside Automation Anywhere in a browser, and then come back and do your activity here. Now I will just show you how to do with some other service. Just grab the WSDL path and say connect. Once you say connect, then the name of the service is populated here, like see temp convert. So don't get confused. SOAP is used to communicate with external third-party APIs. You might have a payment gateway interface, or you might also have a service where you're checking flight rates, no matter what. But it has to have certain standard, and the standard is SOAP. So once it is done, what we will do is we can pass arguments to that particular service and talk to that service. Okay, so let's do with this service. I would like to say add two numbers. So here I know that to add two numbers, it is taking two different parameters called int a and int b, which can be passed from this place. You just need to select this row and pass the argument. I can say maybe 10, maybe take. I can pass one more argument, 20. So if I'm using add, so the result should be 30. Once I do this, I just need to save. And once I save the URI, Automation Anywhere is automatically building the required query URI. And I just say test output. I will see the data in a raw format. I mean to say this is the response which I get from SOAP service. So for performing some operation, I am depending on a third-party web service, and Automation Anywhere now can talk to any third-party web service which is a SOAP-based service. So I have the result here as 30. Addition of 2 will definitely be equal to 30. Addition of these two will give 30, and once that is done, you can save it as a text file on your desktop or wherever it is by giving the location, or you can also save it to a clipboard, okay, and which will be available for the further process. I can do this, and once I have done this, I can actually go ahead and print the response to my notepad by just opening the program file. So .exe, and I will use my keystroke command, insert keystroke, and I will say currently active window, and I will use the variable clipboard, and I just say. So I name this task as basic soap basic soap service, and when I execute it, it would make a call to the external third-party website, and once it is done, it will open Notepad, and then we get our data in the clipboard. So this is how we call a third-party web service. You can see here, yeah. So it has printed the response in a Notepad, okay. So which is the same XML which is promised here. So it is printing the entire XML as a response in Notepad. So why do we use SOAP service? To integrate SOAP service with third-party application. So it has also published the result. If you are seeing here, it has also published the result. Good. And this is the feature which is available to you in Automation Anywhere to talk to a SOAP service. Now, you can also use something called XPath to actually traverse the XML which has come as a result set. I mean to say, we are not really interested in these tags which come with the result. Our interest is this particular node in the XML. So how do we traverse to that particular node in XML? We use XPath as our language. We use XPath as our language. So how we exactly do it in Automation Anywhere? We can use this sub command. Instead of using the whole response, we can use the selected response. Here they have given a very good wizard-driven interface so that you can actually navigate to the SOAP response, and once you select that particular node, you will get the response XPath. You can see the tree structure. Our result is here, so I'm just selecting the particular result. It has created an XPath automatically. Okay, so you can also evaluate the particular tag. You can select any tag. So once you select the tag, Automation Anywhere is creating the XPath expression, which we'll see in some time. So my interest is this, and I can store the XML output as values, inner XML and outer XML. This I will explain it when the context comes. So please observe, Automation Anywhere is giving you all the required things to actually talk to third-party systems. In a generally in a programming world, it is a very big task to actually talk to a SOAP service and then parse the result. Okay, we call, I mean, if you are giving a user interface to the result, we call that activity as parsing. So the parsing is a very complex job in terms of programming. So appreciate Automation Anywhere because you are not writing any line of code to actually get it. So if you want to have additional knowledge on it, I will just give you some reference. Please go and read. You have something called use Chrome as your browser. In Chrome extensions, you have something called uh, REST client. Okay, so you can see this. This is called advanced REST client. It can be used as a SOAP client, and it can also be used as a REST client. You can see the interface here. Just add it to the Chrome. It will be available. It will be available to you to talk to all the third-party web services. So this is usually used by programmers. So now we have a similar interface to talk to SOAP and REST services within Automation Anywhere itself. So you really need not depend on third-party applications. So why I showed you that example is, if you go to any platform, each platform will have its own SOAP and REST clients. So in Automation Anywhere, this is how it is done. If you go to Blue Prism, it has got its own web service configuration panel where you can talk to SOAP and REST services. So here, instead of showing me the entire XML construct, it is giving me the result itself. So that's how it is. This is all about SOAP. Can we create multiple tasks for SOAP in a single? Yes, Ashwini, what is your question? Yes, Ashwini. Can we create multiple tasks for SOAP in a single instance as we do in SOAP API? The question is not clear. Ashwini, you might be asking if we can invoke multiple SOAP services asynchronously, or we can talk to SOAP services asynchronously. So right from the beginning, I've been telling you, I mean, you are new to this class. See, understand the intention of this platform. This platform is not meant to write software applications or create web services or write any third-party applications. They are already there. You are not creating SOAP services. Probably you're talking about a mashup in the sense we are consuming multiple services from one single platform and actually creating a target web service. That activity is called mashup. For that, a simple example is your travel portal itself. You can see here. Typically, if I take any city, like Hyderabad to Bangalore, on any day, then if I do this search operation, you please, as a end user, we might not be knowing what is happening at the back end, but please observe that AirAsia, Indigo, SpiceJet, the result what is shown here are three different companies. Okay, they have their own software systems. Okay, however, when ClearTrip is asking the fares from Hyderabad to Bangalore, it is showing all the results in one place. So how do you think it is happening? This activity is called like web service integration, or uh, we also call it as mashup. AirAsia publishes its own web services like Indigo and SpiceJet. So ClearTrip development team makes a simultaneous call to AirAsia web service, Indigo web service, and SpiceJet web service, whichever airlines are listed here. And the responses which come from these airlines are actually mapped in one single file or one single JSON file. So this activity is called parsing. So first we need to construct the result. Once the result is constructed, that result has to be populated onto the screen. So why I'm telling you all this is, see, as an RPA developer, this is not your headache. This is done by their development teams. Our intention here, our intention here in implementing RPA as a practice is to create digital workforce. I mean to say we are eliminating the human component, which is otherwise, I mean to say human component on software applications. So we are interested in human actions rather than building an application. So that's how it works. Hope it clears your doubt, Ashwini. So next I'll take you to the REST web service. So SOAP and REST. SOAP is a very old standard. REST is a very recent standard which is being used by most of the companies. The only difference is REST is easy to parse. Easy to parse in the sense easy to read when compared to SOAP. Most of the companies could not replace SOAP to REST. The only reason being uh, the cost of documentation and development is too high, because that is a standard area. It is running fine, or I mean to say, it is running well today. So if you want to reinvent that, it takes longer time. That's the only reason I can see. So I have bookmarked the REST web service. I could retrieve. There are so many examples over there. I just retrieved one. So you can see that this is accessed. It doesn't have .axmx or .wisdal kind of extension. It has a simple domain or an IP wherein your services are published, and it has a resource. Like in SOAP service, we have something like this wherein it describes the methods. We have resources here. Okay, so basically what it is doing is it is publishing the content as a REST web service. It is very simple. REST is very easy to read. So it is showing me some customers list. I just need to copy that particular link, and I just need to paste it here. Okay. So when I talk to this service, it is retrieving me the list of customers which are there in their organization. I just need to take one of these extension. So if I want to retrieve the customer 6, I will get the details about it. So you can see here, it is a very simple XML construct when compared to SOAP. SOAP service is having an envelope, a header information, and you have SOAP body. This is the standard which SOAP follows. But when you compare it to REST is very simple. I mean to say, it is a pretty straightforward data representation. It's a very straightforward data representation methodology. Uh, Here you can see that you are getting the same information by querying. So SOAP and REST will support all your 4 methods like get, post, put, and delete, what we have learned in our beginning sessions. So let's see how we talk to a REST client within Automation Anywhere. So I have 3 services here. One is the list of customers, and I also see that it also has something called the invoice number. For instance, I can say there is one more service here which is talking about the invoices of those particular customers. So no hard and fast rules. You can try your hands on using any REST service which you see. I'm just showing you for practice. So I have an invoice number 6. I just need to key in the value. I get the value of the invoice. And this invoice number is further compared in a database or any third party thing. So that's how it is. So let's see how we talk to this. In Automation Anywhere, you have, like SOAP client, you also have a REST client. Okay. I just need to go to REST web service. So it opens the URI builder. We call this interface as the REST client. Copy your URL here, and you have to designate the method by which it talks to the service itself. It is a get method, or you can also take post method when it is applied. So it has immediately connected to the SOAP URL, and it has given you these details. It has parameters. If at all you have to post certain parameters, you have to add the parameters here. It might go over authorization. If it requires some username and password, you can key in here. It also gives a response as a header wherein you can store security information. It has got body, the response body. We didn't invoke it yet. Okay. So, and once it is done, what you need to do is you just need to send the request. Once we send the request, you can see the HTTP status code here, which is 200. That means it's a success event, and you can see the body of the response, wherein it is a proper XML which is coming to you, and your interest is this particular number. Once that is done, you can assign it to any variable of your choice. I'm just taking clipboard as an example, but you can create your own variable for that. So let's go ahead and just save it. So I have a SOAP service and a REST service within the same thing. So I just need to come here and I do the same thing here. So already clipboard had that option. So I will try to use a command called clear clipboard. And I'll place it just after. Okay. This is just to do, like, it will talk to first service, then open notepad, then paste the thing, and then clear the clipboard. Then it will talk to the REST service, and then open notepad, and then paste the service. I just need to run this. So we have two notepads. This is a response from REST service, and this is the response from SOAP service. What we'll do is close this. I don't want to save this. I just want to close this. I'll go to this. Let me capture the raw data instead of the whole response, instead of the selected response. So we have two different type of XMLs. So one is SOAP and REST. So this is how you will be talking to third-party web services. So that's how it is. Now, this is a brief introduction on the XML file. So where it is practically applied, is there are many instances where our data is dependent on a third-party system. Your data might be published as a third-party application wherein you don't have direct access. So SOAP and REST come as a very handy tool for you to talk to any third-party applications. And this data which comes from SOAP or REST service can be verified, validated across the multiple platforms. For example, if you have your data in database and you are trying to check whether a particular invoice exists or not, and you are also trying to continuously check if that invoice value which is there in database, which is further accessed by a third party, let's say ERP itself, is exactly mapping to the current data. So that's how the things work. For instance, in real time, how it is. I just showed you some image. See here, we use RPA for periodic reporting and periodic reporting, data entry, and data analysis. So, what is periodic reporting? What is data analysis? Data analysis is nothing but in our organization we have our idle. Idle is nothing but we have our softwares, we have hardware, we have people, we have processes, all put together is called idle. And this idle, once you understand the idle, you will come to know that you are doing you are doing the business by depending on multiple softwares applications. Okay, so your data is existing, your data is there, is living in multiple software systems. So when your data exists in multiple software systems, it is very difficult to actually maintain the serenity of data in all these applications. So that is where a human involvement is required for data validation, data analysis, and data processing. So that's what it means, and which is a highly repetitive task in an organization, which is a cost to the company. Okay, so here in such scenarios, SOAP and REST services come very handy for you to actually map and validate the information or cross-check the information in multiple platforms. Okay. So I understand that most of you are very new to XML concepts. So I'll just give you a reference where exactly you have to go and refer. It's a single page document what you can read. I've also bookmark for your reference. Please go here. Okay. This is a nice place. I mean, W3 schools is a very nice place to learn new technologies or legacy technologies. It has got tutorials on many different technologies. Whenever you have time, you can actually go and see this. Yeah. So here you see a simple XML document. What is XML? XML is called extensible markup language. Don't go or don't worry with the type of names what they use. It is just a standard of data. Okay. What do I mean by that? Standard of a data. You have applications which are developed on Java, .NET, and multiple platforms. So when we are talking about integrating a Java application with a .NET application or a Java application talking to a mobile application, so since they are different in terms of technology, they need a common standard for data exchange, and that standard is called XML. Okay. We also have something called JSON. JSON is JavaScript Object Notation. XML is Extensible Markup Language. So what exactly is XML? You can see here, you can just open a tag and close a tag. What do I mean by opening and closing a tag? You can see your left arrow or right arrow, write something in between and write the same thing in between those two arrows, use a backslash. That's what I mean by opening a tag and closing a tag. In this world of XML, we call this as node, N-O-D-E. Okay, and XML can have any number of nodes. Like if you see this particular document, it is telling us about a bookstore wherein there are so many books published, so many books available in that particular bookstore. Like here, this is one book and this is the second book. And here you have something called title, you have something called price. Even these are called nodes. Okay, you have a title node, you have a price node, you have a book node, you have a bookstore node. Any tag, any tag which is opened like this and closed like this is called a node. Okay. So these nodes have parent-child relationships. These nodes have parent-child relationships. What do I mean by that? You can see here, bookstore under the bookstore node, before the bookstore node is closed, he has opened book node. And inside book node, he has given two different nodes here. And then again it is closed here. So this becomes a piece of information. So I can confidently say that parent of book node is bookstore. I can say that title is the child of book node, and I can also say title is a descendant of bookstore. Okay, so if you are able to write your data in this pattern, then it's called an XML document. Okay, and it is easy for any third party application to integrate data which comes from this system, because here you are not mentioning any language as prerequisite. So in automation anywhere we can integrate. We can go to Pega platform, we can integrate an XML. We can go to ServiceNow, we can integrate an XML document. Hope things are clear here. We call each and everything as a node, and nodes have parent-child relationships. So descendant price is the descendant of bookstore node, and price is the child of book node, because before closing the book node, closing in a sense with backslash, price tag has completed its journey. It has opened the price and it has close the price, and within that it is giving some data which is called value of that price. Sometimes in XML we need to explain more about the node itself. So if you can observe title needs some additional information. I mean, title tag is giving additional information to the user by writing something like this: lang lang en. That means language is English. So this language is English is telling more about this title node. So we call such things as attributes. Okay. So we can write additional information about a node by doing this. Just give me a second, guys. I'm getting a call. Sorry guys, so we are back. So that's all. So this is all about an XML document. But I would strongly recommend you to come to this particular link, w3schools.com, XML, under XML, XPath syntax.asp. XPath, say we have XML document. So to traverse through this XML document or to reach to particular value of a node, we need a language support which is very easy to learn, and that is called XPath. So XPath has some syntax, basic syntax. So we'll be learning about that. So hope it is clear about nodes. Anybody has a question related to XML, please ask. Hope it is clear till now. Okay. So yeah. So how do we traverse this XML document? Here in W3 schools, it has given a very simple definition to actually traverse a XML document. So I would say, so please keep this as a reference. Try to visit this page and understand what kind of expressions we have to use to talk to a particular node in an XML. Hope my uh, language is okay with you. So I'm saying we need to talk to a price node. We have to tell this XML document that I need this particular price. Okay. And how do we tell XML? We use XPath as our language. Okay. So here you see that there's no big difference except the type of book between this book tag or this book node and this book node. Here we need a mechanism to reference a particular node. You can have similar tags. I mean to say you can have any number of book nodes within bookstore. So each one of this block or node is referenced by the index of the XML document. Index is a reference point. I mean to say within bookstore, if I'm coming to this second book, I would say it is index 1. Within bookstore, if I want to talk to this particular node, then I will say it is index 0. So if I have one more, that would become index 2. Hope it is clear. So in index 1, show me the price of the book, then the result will be 29.99. It works like that. So how we exactly communicate, like you have databases. To talk to databases, you have SQL. SQL is structured query language. So to talk to an XML document, we have XPath. So pay attention. Here, it is a very simple definition. It says node name. Okay, expression is node name. If you use this expression node name, it will select all nodes with the name node name. I mean to say, let us say in this XML document, if I use book as the node name, then it will select all the nodes which are coming with that particular keyword. If I say node bookstore, then it is referencing the entire XML document from the top to the bottom. Okay, hope it is clear. If I say book, then book is here, book is here. So it is referencing two books. So we want to specify a particular book, then we'll say expression node name, which is book. Okay, let me go to, I'll just copy that XML here. a second while it loads. So I'll just paste that XML here. Yeah. Now, how should I talk to this XML using XPath? If I just say book, then using XPath, if I just say book, then it is referencing to all the tags which come with this particular keyword. I mean, it might talk to, I mean, you have not specified which book because there are so many books in bookstore. If I say I need to talk to this particular book, then I use indexes. So how do we use indexes? We use square bracket and give the name of that particular index. So this reference, this XPath command will tell that go to the book node, which is number 1. Okay. So now we know that's what this particular command means. Command means the same thing like no name. Okay. Backslash. This is a backslash. What it means is selects from the root node. Selects from the root node is, if I come here, what is the root node here? Root node is bookstore itself. It started its journey at this place. If you see the declaration here, it is shown as XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8. That is telling about the type of data which is being published after the declaration. We also call it as namespace. Okay. So the journey of XML is starting here. Yeah. So either I say bookstore as my command, I can say bookstore. So if I know the data, which is, I mean, if I know the keyword, I can just say bookstore. Bookstore will refer to the root of the node. Root of the node is nothing but it has XML has started its journey at this particular node. If I don't know, if I don't know the keyword, if it is coming from a third party application, but if I don't know what is there within this keyword, so I can reference that particular thing by just saying backslash. Okay. If you say backslash, the reference has gone to the root of the node. So that's what they mean by backslash selects from the root node. If you use double backslash, it says selects the node in the document from the current node that match the selection no matter where they are. That means if I want to select something which is inside the bookstore, if I want to go to this particular tag, then I use double slash. So don't worry if you are not able to understand this. Why we need to know this is in Automation Anywhere, I have shown you the SOAP and REST services. In SOAP services, you have also seen when you go to the selected response, it is saying select view response. In this, it is allowing you to create the XPath. Okay, so XPath is required. Knowledge on XPath is required. So see, this is the root node. This is the root node. It has created the XPath expression. This is the XPath expression. Under that, it has again created one more XPath expression. So that means basically traversing to a particular node is done by XPath. So it is expected from you that you should be able to create this particular XPath. If you want, you can use that, or you can write your own expert here. That is the reason why I'm trying to teach you this particular thing. And if you use dot operator, okay, it selects the current node. It selects the current. I mean, a dot or operator, dot, double dot operator. Why all these things are there? They are helping you to actually traverse through a node. Here, if you can see, there is something called at the rate. Selects the attributes. I have shown you in the XML document that whenever you wanted to add additional information about a node, you have this attributes included. If I want to talk to this particular attribute and I want to retrieve this en, then I use at as my keyword. So that's how it is. So here he has clearly explained, I mean, which is what. I mean to say, what will happen if I use slash bookstore slash book. So it says selects all book elements, which are the children's of bookstore. So I can use index here. After bookstore, I can say square bracket 0. That will go to the first one. I don't want to do all this. I just want to directly go to the tag book. Then I use double backslash and I land up to all the keywords which come with book as the keyword. Okay, then I can use my index after book saying square bracket 0, square bracket 1, that will reference to that particular tag. So this is how it is. And if I want to reference a particular, what you say, attribute, I can use at lang. I can have many attributes here. I mean to say, I can add as many attributes. So it has added title process. I can also add something called AUTH author, which is equal to say J.K. Rowling. Okay. So if I want to talk to author, then I can say use at author. So that's how it is. So today we have learned two things: SOAP and REST, how to use them, and what exactly is XML, and how to read XML. Okay. So next topic would be about JSON. As I said, SOAP is an XML standard, and REST is a standard of both XML and JSON. So what do I mean by standard? I mean that they come with certain data pattern. I mean to say, you should, if I say it is SOAP, then I would expect a SOAP envelope. I would expect before starting the namespace, it should give me these headers. Okay, then only I accept it as a SOAP message. Okay, now I'll quickly show you a JSON, which is called JavaScript object notation. Please understand that uh, in our programming world, we have classes and objects. So when we have data published as a JSON document, it is very easy to reference JSON objects in JavaScript. It is easy for any programming language to dissect a JSON document because of its data format. A JSON can be converted into a valid XML or a valid SOAP message. So it is all about the convenience of different software platforms which choose REST or SOAP as their medium of data transfer. So let's see how a JSON document looks like. Uh, I will use ClearTrip service itself. Remember, in earlier sessions, I have asked you to add certain plugins. like HTTP forms, which will help you to actually uh, it will help you to actually take the information from the web. I mean to say, it will help you to debug. It's not enabled here. I will. It only takes a minute. Just need to restart it. And we're good to go. Yeah, it will be available here. Just need to drag it at your convenient location and say exist. And let's toggle it and start debugging it. Let's see. So the whole world speaks this language of SOAP and REST. All your enterprise applications talk about SOAP and REST. So I can take the log and now just let's demonstrate. Say Hyderabad. So it has, you can see here. I'll stop this. I get the search string here, which is a REST message. And once I pulled up that message, what I will do is I'll go ahead and paste it in some other URL. If you see the data construct here, a square bracket is open, then a flower bracket. There is a keyword K and a value called HYD, then V and Hyderabad. Okay, there is a value here, and again it says K, HDD, V, Hyderabad, some Pakistan airport it is showing, and K, MCY, Sunshine, whatever. So what is here, you can see the entire information is coming to you as a key and a value pair. Okay, so in JavaScript world we call them as objects. So it will be really easy for me to actually dissect this type of information using using what do you say, JavaScript. So I will give you one more example. I will say DEL. So see here the same information. I mean to say, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to search for the airport names which will have DEL as a keyword search parameter. So it is giving some parameter like K and DEL, some parameter like V, and it is showing you the airport name. Okay, so it could find, so this is one block of information under the flower brackets. So if the data is published like this, it is called JSON, JavaScript object notation. So I am doing a get method. I'm doing a get method to get this kind of data. So we have seen SOAP, we have seen REST, we have seen XML, we have seen JSON. We have seen how we talk to XML and JSON from Automation Anywhere, and we have learned how we talk to an XML document using XPath. I think we are good to go. So this is a very prerequisite, I mean very important prerequisite for you. So in our training, so hope we have covered this particular topic. So this is first topic which is required, because when we are talking to RDBMS, we might have an involvement from an external web service. So we should not face difficulty in talking to an external web service. So applies to Excel, applies to NoSQL, applies to Notepad. Okay, except OCR and comparing images. Every aspect of this 10 points or 9 points are dependent on SOAP and REST in one or the other way. So now we have an option to talk to an external web service, and those external web services are mapped to the variables. So next topic would be how exactly we map the external data to a variable. Okay, so we have variables in our automation anywhere. We have system variables, and if the requirement is like we don't know the system variables, uh, uh, we don't have the facility to map to a system variable, we go ahead and create a local variable. So while creating local variable, how exactly you have to assign the values or create a list or an array or a random thing is what will be the next session, because this is required. Okay, I'm talking to an external service, and the value from the external service, let's say it is coming to me as a key value pair, then I would use array as my option. That means, so all these values which are coming as key value pair have to be placed in a array. And once it is placed in array, it is available for you for the further use in your automation in your journey. So that's how it is. So any questions, guys, please ask. So this is all about XML and JSON. Yeah. Anybody has a question, please ask. Get it clarified. So you must be having this as a handy thing in all your automation journey. Entire automation journey, you must have REST and SOAP in your pocket. You should be able to use it, talk to it. Once the data comes from the web, you should be able to map it to your automation logic. So that's the agenda. Hope I'm clear about this session. Okay. So I'm yes, Hari.
Can you share me the previous videos? Actually, I did not listen the SQL section.
Okay, I have already done that on Google Drive. I will show it to you. Thing is, 1 hour session is taking almost 45 minutes to get converted and then uploaded. I've done it last time. So these are the two videos which are available. Okay, so I have given the session on SQL, and this day 2 video will cover your SQL commands with database. We'll cover SOAP and REST services. We'll also talk about the integration between a SOAP and REST service to a database, which happens in an automated environment. Day 1 covers about the variables, how we create different variables, I mean to say, how we create system variables, and how we use system variables, and how we create the local variables like value type, list type, array type, and where do we use it. Okay, variables are, you can understand as temporary storage, storage, they are storage which can be used for your further uh, development of business project. So that's how it is. Hope it is clear. So I'll upload this video as well. So this video, I tried to give a descriptive explanation about both the services. So apart from these, so that was the intention actually, to make you comfortable with these all type of data migration possibilities. Okay, in automation anywhere, see anybody can just go here and click on a particular command and understand the features of that command. That is not a point at all. Okay. However, how do we exactly use in migrating from one system to the other system is the knowledge required. Okay, so I'll close this session. Thank you. Thank you for taking this class.